Margaret stares at her reflection, gripping the bathroom sink. Her legs shake like autumn leaves. Yesterday she climbed mountains. Today she can barely climb stairs. The doctor's words echo in her mind. Normal aging, Mrs. Chen. Nothing we can do. But Margaret refuses to accept defeat. She's survived wars, raised 5 children, and built a business from nothing. Weak legs won't stop her now. Her grandson Tommy bounces into the kitchen. "Grandma, will you teach me to hike like you taught Mom?" His innocent eyes sparkle with hope. Margaret's heart breaks. She wants to say yes, but her body screams no. That night, she discovers something shocking. Her neighbor Rosa, once wheelchair-bound, now dances salsa every weekend. Rosa whispers a secret that changes everything. 3 simple vitamins transformed her life in 30 days. Margaret's hands tremble as she writes down the names. Hope flickers in her chest like a candle in darkness. Maybe the doctor was wrong. Maybe this isn't the end. Tomorrow, her real fight begins, not against age, but against giving up. Margaret clutches Rosa's handwritten note. 3 vitamin names that sound like magic spells. Her mind races with questions. How did Rosa go from wheelchair to dance floor? Why did 5 doctors miss this? What else are they hiding? The first vitamin shocked her. Every senior takes calcium for bones, but Rosa's secret weapon targets muscles directly. Margaret's research reveals something terrifying. Most seniors are starving their leg muscles without knowing it. The evidence is overwhelming. The second vitamin changed everything Rosa thought about energy. No more afternoon crashes, no more heavy legs. Margaret discovers why her morning coffee stopped working years ago. The answer lies in something her body stopped making at 60. The third vitamin nearly brought Margaret to tears. It explained her balance problems, her fear of falling, her constant fatigue. Rosa's doctor called it the missing link between brain and muscle. Margaret realizes she's been fighting the wrong battle her entire life. Margaret remembers the exact moment everything changed. Standing in the grocery store, she couldn't reach the top shelf. A young clerk offered help, and shame burned her cheeks. When did she become that fragile old woman who needed assistance? Her legs felt like concrete blocks, heavy and unresponsive. She thinks about Sarah, her walking partner who stopped calling. "My knees hurt too much," Sarah had whispered. Margaret watched her friend disappear behind closed doors, fear replacing their morning adventures. The stairs in her own home became mountains to climb. Her daughter visits less often now. Margaret pretends not to notice the worried glances, the way conversations pause when she struggles to stand. Pride keeps her silent, but loneliness grows louder each day. She refuses to become a burden. Rosa's transformation gives Margaret something she'd lost: hope. If Rosa escaped this prison of weakness, maybe Margaret can too. Tonight, she stops making excuses and starts fighting back. Margaret stares at Rosa's first vitamin name, vitamin D3. She laughs bitterly. Sunshine vitamin? I've lived in sunny California my whole life. Rosa's gentle voice echoes in her memory. That's exactly what I thought too, dear. I was wrong about everything. The next morning, Margaret sits in her doctor's office, demanding a vitamin D test. Dr. Martinez looks surprised. Margaret, you're 72. Some weakness is normal. She slams Rosa's research papers on his desk. Test me anyway. Her voice carries steel she forgot she possessed. 3 days later, the phone rings. Dr. Martinez sounds confused. Margaret, your vitamin D level is 12. Normal is 30 to 50. She grips the phone tighter. What does that mean? His pause stretches like eternity. It means your muscles are essentially starving. Margaret's hands shake as she researches online. Vitamin D isn't just about bones, it's the key that unlocks muscle cells. Without it, her legs can't access their own strength. She's been carrying the power all along, but the door was locked. She remembers her grandmother's stories about working outdoors from dawn to dusk. No gyms, no supplements, just sunshine and hard work. Grandma walked 10 miles daily until she was 90. Margaret hasn't seen real sunshine in years, hiding indoors with air conditioning and television. The research hits like lightning. After age 60, skin produces 75% less vitamin D from sunlight. Margaret's body is a broken solar panel, unable to capture what it desperately needs. Every year indoors made her weaker, and she never knew why. Her neighbor Jim collapsed last month. His wife found him at the bottom of their stairs, legs too weak to catch himself. Margaret visits him in the hospital. "Jim, when did you last spend time in the sun?" He laughs weakly. "Sunshine's dangerous at our age, Margaret." Doctor's orders. Margaret's anger builds. How many seniors are trapped in this cycle? Doctors warn about skin cancer, so they hide indoors. Their muscles weaken, they fall, they break bones. Then doctors blame aging. The system is backwards, punishing the very people it claims to protect. She drives to Rosa's house, heart pounding. "Rosa, how much vitamin D do you take?" Rosa's eyes twinkle. 4,000 units daily. My doctor said I was crazy. Now he takes it too. Margaret's jaw drops. 4,000? The bottle says 400. Rosa pulls out a thick folder of research papers. "Margaret, most seniors need 10 times more than the bottle recommends. We're not preventing rickets in children. We're rebuilding decades of muscle loss." The science is overwhelming, but clear. Low doses maintain basic function. High doses restore strength. Margaret learns about muscle fiber types. Fast twitch fibers need vitamin D to contract powerfully. Slow twitch fibers need it for endurance. Without enough D3, both types weaken. It's like trying to start a car with a dead battery. The engine works fine, but nothing responds. She reads about German research on elderly patients. Those with vitamin D levels below 20 had 40% weaker leg muscles. Those above 30 walked faster, climbed stairs easier, and fell less often. The difference was dramatic, measurable, and reversible. Margaret's excitement grows. She's not broken. She's not just getting old. She's been unknowingly starving her muscles for years. The solution seems almost too simple. Take a pill, rebuild strength. But doubt creeps in. What if it's too late? What if the damage is permanent? Rosa shows her before and after videos on her phone. 6 months ago, Rosa used a walker. Today, she demonstrates perfect balance on one foot. "Margaret, I was worse than you. My daughter wanted to put me in a nursing home. Now I babysit her kids every weekend." The transformation seems impossible. Margaret studies Rosa's face for signs of deception. Instead, she sees truth, hope, and fierce determination. "Rosa, how long before you felt different?" Rosa's smile brightens. 2 weeks. I noticed my legs felt less heavy. 4 weeks, I could climb stairs without stopping. 8 weeks, I felt 20 years younger. Margaret's skepticism battles with desperate hope. She's tried everything: physical therapy, expensive creams, special shoes, even acupuncture. Nothing worked, but she never addressed the root cause. Her muscles weren't weak from age. They were weak from starvation. She researches dosing protocols. Most seniors take 800 units daily. Research suggests 2,000 to 4,000 units for muscle strength. Margaret's doctor prescribed 1,000 units after her test. It's not enough. She needs to be her own advocate, her own researcher, her own hero. The science explains everything. Vitamin D receptors exist throughout muscle tissue. When levels drop, muscles lose the ability to contract efficiently. Power decreases, Endurance vanishes and coordination suffers. It's not magic. It's basic biochemistry that most doctors overlook. Margaret thinks about her mother, who lived to 96 but spent her final years bedridden. What if proper vitamin D could have changed everything? What if her mother's falls weren't inevitable? The regret stings, but it fuels her determination. She won't repeat her mother's fate. She calls her daughter Jennifer. "Mom, you sound different, more energetic." Margaret smiles. "I'm starting a new chapter, sweetheart. I'm going to get strong again." Jennifer's voice wavers with hope and fear. "Mom, please be careful. I can't lose you too." Margaret's resolve hardens. She won't be lost. She'll be found. That evening, Margaret stands in her bathroom holding a bottle of high-dose vitamin D3. Rosa's research papers cover her kitchen table. Her phone contains Dr. Martinez's reluctant approval for higher doses. Everything aligns for this moment of choice. She can accept weakness or fight for strength. There's no middle ground anymore. 3 weeks into her vitamin D3 journey, Margaret feels cautiously hopeful. Her morning stiffness has lessened, but something still feels wrong. She climbs 5 stairs before her legs start burning. Rosa climbed 20 without stopping. What's Margaret missing? Rosa grins when Margaret calls, frustrated. "Ready for vitamin number 2? Margaret groans. "I thought D3 was the magic bullet." Rosa's laughter fills the phone. "Darling, D3 opens the door, but magnesium is the fuel that powers the engine. Without it, you're still running on empty." Margaret stares at the second name on Rosa's crumpled paper. Magnesium. She remembers taking it years ago for leg cramps. The cheap pills from the pharmacy made her stomach hurt, so she quit. "Rosa, I tried magnesium. It gave me diarrhea and didn't help." Rosa's voice turned serious. "Wrong type, wrong dose, wrong timing. Let me teach you what really works." That night, Margaret's legs cramp so severely she cries out. The pain shoots from her calves to her thighs like electric shocks. She hobbles to the kitchen, remembering her mother's midnight leg cramp battles. 3 generations of women, all suffering the same torture, never knowing the simple solution. Rosa arrives the next morning with research papers and a different kind of magnesium bottle. "Margaret, your muscles are screaming for this mineral. Every muscle contraction needs magnesium to relax afterward. Without it, your muscles lock up like rusty hinges." Margaret examines the bottle. Magnesium glycinate, not the cheap oxide form she'd tried before. The science shocks Margaret. Magnesium controls over 300 reactions in the human body. Her heart needs it to beat steadily. Her nerves need it to send signals. Her muscles need it to contract and release. She's been chronically deficient for decades, and her body has been slowly breaking down. Rosa explains the cruel irony. Stress depletes magnesium, but magnesium deficiency causes more stress. Margaret's anxiety about falling, her worry about becoming dependent, her fear of losing independence, all made worse by missing this one crucial mineral. She's been trapped in a vicious cycle without realizing it. Margaret learns about soil depletion. Modern farming stripped magnesium from the earth decades ago. The spinach her grandmother ate contained 4 times more magnesium than today's vegetables. Even eating perfectly couldn't provide what Margaret's body craves. The system failed her before she was born. She researches absorption rates with growing alarm. Magnesium oxide, the cheapest form in most supplements, absorbs at only 4%. She spent months taking pills that barely helped because her body couldn't use them. It's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a leaky bucket. Rosa demonstrates the different forms like a chemistry teacher. Magnesium glycinate absorbs at 90% and won't upset your stomach. Magnesium citrate works faster but might cause loose stools. Magnesium threonate crosses into the brain for better sleep and memory. Margaret feels overwhelmed but excited. Real solutions exist. The dosing revelation astounds her. Most doctors recommend 300 milligrams daily. Research on seniors suggests 400 to 600 milligrams for muscle function. Margaret's been taking 100 milligrams of poorly absorbed oxide. No wonder nothing changed. She wasn't even reaching minimum therapeutic levels. Margaret tests her magnesium status with a simple trick Rosa taught her. She flexes her calf muscle and holds it. Within seconds, it cramps painfully. Rosa does the same test and holds the flex for 30 seconds without discomfort. Your muscles can't relax, Margaret. They're locked in a state of semi-contraction. That evening, Margaret takes her first dose of magnesium glycinate. Rosa warned her not to expect immediate miracles, but Margaret feels something shift within hours. Her evening restlessness calms. Her racing thoughts slow down. For the first time in months, she falls asleep without tossing and turning. She wakes without her usual morning muscle stiffness. Her legs feel less heavy, more responsive. It's subtle, but undeniable. Margaret tests her calf muscle again. She can hold the flex for 10 seconds before it cramps. Progress. Real, measurable progress. Margaret calls her friend Helen, who suffers from terrible leg cramps. "Helen, when did your cramps start getting worse?" Helen sighs. "About 5 years ago, right after I started taking that blood pressure medicine." Margaret's research reveals the shocking truth. Many common medications deplete magnesium, creating deficiency symptoms doctors mistake for new diseases. She discovers Helen's blood pressure medication is a diuretic that flushes magnesium from her system. Helen takes calcium supplements her doctor recommended, but calcium without magnesium makes muscle cramps worse. Helen has been inadvertently poisoning herself while trying to stay healthy. Margaret feels angry and empowered simultaneously. How many seniors suffer needlessly because doctors don't understand mineral interactions? How many are prescribed additional medications to treat symptoms caused by nutrient deficiencies? The medical system is broken, but knowledge is power. 2 weeks later, Margaret's transformation accelerates. She climbs 10 stairs without stopping. Her afternoon energy crashes disappear. Her sleep deepens and becomes more restorative. Rosa's explanation makes perfect sense now. Magnesium is the relaxation mineral. Without it, everything stays tense, including muscles. Margaret starts keeping a symptoms journal. Her leg cramps vanish completely. Her muscle twitches stop. Her restless leg syndrome, which had plagued her for years, disappears entirely. She never connected these symptoms to magnesium deficiency, but the evidence is overwhelming. She researches the connection between magnesium and vitamin D. They work together like dance partners. Vitamin D can't function properly without adequate magnesium. Magnesium activates the enzymes that convert vitamin D into its active form. Margaret realizes she needed both vitamins working together to feel the full benefits. Rosa visits to check Margaret's progress. They walk around the block together, something Margaret couldn't do a month ago. "Rosa, I feel like I'm waking up from a long nightmare. My body is remembering how to work again." Rosa nods knowingly. "Wait until you learn about vitamin number 3. That's when everything really clicks into place." That night, Margaret stands in her bathroom mirror, seeing herself clearly for the first time in years. Her posture is straighter. Her eyes are brighter. Her fear is fading. She's not the fragile woman who couldn't reach the grocery store shelf. She's becoming someone stronger, someone she thought was lost forever. 6 weeks into her vitamin journey, Margaret feels stronger, but incomplete. Her legs have more power, yet something crucial is missing. She stumbles slightly while turning corners, her balance still uncertain. Rosa's third vitamin name haunts her thoughts: B12. She'd always dismissed it as an energy vitamin for tired people. Margaret's hands shake as she reads Rosa's research on B12. This isn't about energy. It's about the invisible highway between her brain and muscles. Every step, every movement, every moment of balance depends on signals racing through her nerves. Without B12, those signals fade like whispers in a windstorm. She remembers her father's final years, how his confident stride became a shuffling uncertainty. Doctors blamed Parkinson's, but his tremor tests came back normal. Margaret's throat tightens. What if her father's mysterious weakness wasn't a disease at all? What if he slowly starved his nerves while everyone watched helplessly? Rosa's voice echoes in Margaret's memory. B12 deficiency looks exactly like aging. Doctors see confusion, weakness, and poor balance in seniors, and shrug. They never think to check the one vitamin that could change everything. Margaret feels fury building. How many families have watched loved ones fade unnecessarily? Margaret schedules another appointment with Dr. Martinez, armed with research papers. He looks exhausted when she enters. "Margaret, you're becoming quite the researcher." She doesn't smile. "Test my B12 levels, all of them, not just the basic test. I want methylmalonic acid and homocysteine levels too." His eyebrows raise. "Those are expensive tests, Margaret." "Your insurance might not cover them." Her voice turns steel cold. "Doctor, I've spent more money on useless treatments than these tests cost. I'm not asking permission. I'm telling you what I need." Something in her tone makes him start typing the orders. The results arrive by phone 3 days later. Dr. Martinez sounds genuinely surprised. "Margaret, your B12 blood level is normal, but your methylmalonic acid is elevated. That suggests cellular B12 deficiency." Margaret's research prepared her for this moment. "Doctor, normal B12 levels don't mean my cells can use it. That's why seniors develop deficiency symptoms with normal blood tests." Margaret discovers the cruel truth about aging and B12 absorption. After 60, stomach acid production drops dramatically. Without enough acid, the body can't separate B12 from food proteins. She could eat steaks daily and still become deficient. Her body is a broken key trying to unlock nutrients it desperately needs. She learns about intrinsic factor, a protein her stomach makes to help absorb B12. Age, medications, and stress damage this protein production. Margaret has taken antacids for years to calm her nervous stomach. Each pill further destroyed her ability to absorb this crucial vitamin. She'd been accidentally poisoning herself while trying to feel better. Rosa explains the different forms of B12 with passionate intensity. "Margaret, most supplements contain cyanocobalamin, a synthetic form your body must convert. At our age, that conversion fails. You need methylcobalamin, the active form your cells can use immediately." Margaret feels like she's learning a secret language doctors forgot to teach. The nerve damage revelation terrifies Margaret. B12 deficiency doesn't just make you tired. It strips away the protective coating around nerves, like removing insulation from electrical wires. Signals short circuit, fade, or disappear entirely. Her balance problems aren't inner ear issues. They're communication breakdowns between her brain and legs. Margaret tests her nerve function using Rosa's simple methods. She closes her eyes and tries to stand on one foot. She topples immediately. Rosa demonstrates perfect balance with eyes closed. "Margaret, your brain can see your legs moving, but it can't feel where they are in space. That's proprioception failure from B12 deficiency." She researches the connection between B12 and memory. Her recent forgetfulness, the names that slip away, the confusion in unfamiliar places, all potential signs of nerve starvation in her brain. Margaret's fear transforms into determination. She won't accept mental decline as inevitable aging. Margaret starts sublingual B12 tablets that dissolve under her tongue, bypassing her damaged stomach absorption. Within days, something shifts. Her morning brain fog lifts earlier. Her thoughts feel clearer, more organized. The change is subtle but unmistakable, like adjusting the focus on a blurry photograph. 2 weeks later, Margaret's balance improves dramatically. She practices standing on one foot with eyes closed, building up her endurance daily. Her proprioception slowly returns as her nerves rebuild their protective coating. Rosa watches proudly as Margaret demonstrates her progress. Margaret calls her sister Patricia, who lives alone and rarely leaves her apartment. "Pat, when did you start feeling unsteady on your feet?" Patricia's voice wavers. "Maybe 2 years ago. I'm scared I'll fall and no one will find me." Margaret's heart breaks. Another family member suffering needlessly. She drives to Patricia's apartment with B12 research and supplements. Patricia looks fragile, uncertain, aged beyond her 70 years. Margaret recognizes the signs now, the cautious movements, the mental fog, the defeated posture. "Pat, I think I know what's wrong. Will you try something with me?" Patricia's transformation begins within weeks. Her confidence returns gradually, like sunrise after a long night. She calls Margaret daily with small victories, walking to the mailbox, cooking a real meal, remembering her neighbor's name. Each improvement builds on the last, creating momentum toward strength. Margaret realizes B12 deficiency often masquerades as dementia in seniors. How many people are warehoused in memory care facilities when they simply need the right form of vitamin B12? The thought haunts and motivates her. Knowledge this powerful demands sharing. 3 months after starting her vitamin protocol, Margaret stands in Rosa's garden, perfectly balanced on one foot, with eyes closed. Rosa claps with delight. "Margaret, your nervous system is talking to your muscles again. You've rebuilt the connection between your brain and your body." Margaret opens her eyes, tears flowing freely. That evening, Margaret video calls her grandson, Tommy. "Grandma, you look different, stronger." She smiles with quiet confidence. "Tommy, I'm ready for that hiking lesson now. When can you visit?" His excited shout fills her heart with purpose. She's not just recovering her strength, she's reclaiming her future. Margaret takes her 3 vitamins separately for weeks, feeling good, but not great. Rosa watches her struggle with timing and dosages. "Margaret, you're missing the most important part. These vitamins don't work alone. They're a team that needs each other to succeed." Rosa pulls out a chart showing how the vitamins connect. Without magnesium, your body can't activate vitamin D. Without B12, the nerve signals can't reach muscles that vitamin D has strengthened. Take them apart and you get partial results. Take them together and magic happens. Margaret's eyes widen as Rosa explains the timing secrets. Take D3 with breakfast and healthy fats. Your body absorbs it better. Magnesium works best at dinner because it helps you sleep. B12 goes under your tongue first thing in the morning for energy that lasts all day. The transformation Margaret experiences in week 8 shocks everyone. Her morning routine becomes effortless. She bounds upstairs like someone 20 years younger. Her balance feels rock solid, her energy steady all day. Rosa nods knowingly. Now you understand why I called it the secret combination. Margaret tests her new strength by hiking a local trail with Tommy. 6 months ago, she couldn't climb her own stairs. Today, she leads her grandson up a mountain path, stopping only to point out wildflowers and wildlife. Tommy stares in amazement. "Grandma, how did you get so strong so fast?" She realizes the vitamins work like instruments in an orchestra. Each one sounds good alone, but together they create beautiful music. D3 builds the foundation, magnesium provides the fuel, and B12 conducts the symphony between brain and muscle. Margaret's doctor calls with her latest blood work results. "Margaret, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. Your muscle function tests are better than patients half your age." She smiles, thinking of Rosa's wisdom about teamwork. That night, Margaret writes in her journal, "Today, I learned that strength isn't about one miracle cure. It's about giving your body everything it needs to remember how powerful it always was." 3 months after mastering her vitamin routine, Margaret hits a plateau. Her strength improved dramatically, but she wants more. Rosa finds her frustrated in the garden. "Margaret, vitamins rebuilt your foundation, but now your muscles need a reason to use that new strength. It's time for the secret weapon." Rosa demonstrates something Margaret never expected, a 2-minute morning routine that looks deceptively simple. "These aren't exercises, Margaret. They're activation signals. You're telling your newly nourished muscles to wake up and remember their job." Margaret watches Rosa perform gentle movements that seem almost too easy. The first movement surprises Margaret. Rosa holds onto her kitchen counter and slowly rises onto her toes, then lowers down. Calf raises pump blood through your legs like a second heart. Your muscles are fed. Now give them circulation. Margaret tries 5 repetitions and feels her calves burn pleasantly. Next, Rosa sits in a chair and stands up without using her hands, then sits back down. "This is life, Margaret. Every day you sit and stand dozens of times. Make each one count." Margaret struggles at first, but manages 3 repetitions. Her thighs quiver with effort and awakening strength. Rosa shows the final movement, marching in place while holding the counter for balance. This wakes up the connection between your brain and legs. Your vitamins rebuilt the highway. Now send some traffic down it. Margaret's coordination improves with each step. Within 2 weeks, Margaret's plateau shatters completely. The simple routine amplifies everything the vitamins accomplished. Her legs feel springy, responsive, eager to move. She realizes the vitamins were like premium fuel, but movement was the engine that burned it efficiently. Margaret teaches the routine to Patricia, who's been taking the vitamins for months. Patricia's transformation accelerates immediately. "Margaret, I feel like my legs are remembering how to be young again." They laugh together, 2 sisters reclaiming their strength. Margaret's journal entry that night reads, "Today I learned that healing isn't passive. You can't just take vitamins and wait. You have to participate in your own resurrection." 6 months later, Margaret stands at the summit of Eagle Peak with Tommy, both breathing hard from the challenging climb. Her grandson shakes his head in amazement. "Grandma, I can't believe you were afraid of stairs 6 months ago. Now you're climbing mountains with me." Margaret's eyes sparkle with tears of joy and triumph. She thinks about Rosa, who started this incredible journey with 3 vitamin names on a crumpled piece of paper. Today, Margaret leads a weekly walking group of 12 seniors who've transformed their lives using the same protocol. They call themselves Rosa's Warriors, in honor of the woman who refused to accept weakness as inevitable. Margaret pulls out her phone and calls Rosa from the mountaintop. "Rosa, I'm standing on Eagle Peak. 6 months ago, I couldn't reach a grocery store shelf. Today, I reached the sky." Rosa's laughter echoes across the mountains. "Margaret, you didn't just find your strength, you found yourself again." Her daughter Jennifer joins them for the descent. hiking boots replacing the worried phone calls from months past. Mom, I have my fearless mother back. Thank you for not giving up. Margaret hugs her daughter tightly, grateful for second chances and the courage to fight for them. That evening, Margaret writes her final journal entry. I learned that growing old doesn't mean growing weak. Sometimes it means growing wise enough to reclaim the power you always had.